Breaking news, my country people, it don't happen. Once again, Asari Dokubo laments Tinubu's betrayal. This is interesting, guys. Asari Dokubo, we all know, is a staunch supporter of Mr. President and the APC. Someone that once told Nigerians that we should hold him responsible should Tinubu be a failure after winning the 2023 presidential election. Asari boldly boasted that Nigerians should hold him accountable should Tinubu fail to deliver his campaign promises. Barely 2 years into Tinubu's administration, just a year and 6 months, Asari Dokubo is crying, lamenting that he's quite disappointed in Tinubu, that Tinubu has betrayed him after he spent all his money, supported him, emptied his bank account. Now, the Tinubu he is seeing today is not the Tinubu he once knew. Because at this point, he's done working for Tinubu. He's done forming an alliance with Tinubu. He will form an alliance with the North. Instead of forming an alliance with the Tinubu, he would rather form an alliance with the North. Let's not forget, the North are also grumbling against Mr. President because of reasons best known to them and them alone. I guess this Tinubu's administration is not favorable to almost everybody, including Tinubu's supporters themselves. They are the ones complaining the most. They are the ones crying the most. They once told Nigerians back then, before the 2023 elections, that after they won the elections, that they will bring buckets for those non-Tinubu supporters to pour their tears in. They were on X, made a lot of tweets, lambasting Tinubu's non-supporters, calling them names, telling them that they will pack their tears. Now who's crying? They are the ones crying. The non-Tinubu supporters are just there, watching the drama unfold. This is a very interesting drama. And guys, they still have few years to go under this Tinubu's administration. When will this crying end? The crying began barely few months into Tinubu's administration. Immediately step into office, barely 2 months. Some people were already lamenting that they never expected this administration to turn out this way. What were they expecting? Were they expecting some special treatment from Mr. President? Were they expecting to be excluded from the sufferings that the whole country are suffering? What were their expectations? Now I wonder. Asari Dokubo had great expectations from Tinubu's government. We must say, Asari Dokubo had great expectations. He put a lot of faith in Tinubu's government. He put a lot of hope in Tinubu's government. He was so confident that Tinubu would deliver. But at last, what happened? The same Asari is lamenting concerning Tinubu's administration. This same Asari Dokubo that said, if Tinubu fails, we should hold him responsible. Now that Asari Dokubo is backing out from his responsibility, who are we going to hold responsible now that Tinubu has proven to be a failure? Who are we going to hold responsible for Tinubu's failure? Because at this point, some of Tinubu's supporters are already backing out. Now, if all of them should back out, who are we going to hold responsible? Because they once said we should hold them responsible. Some vowed and vouched for the president, but they are the ones crying. So I really think that Asari Dokubo has a long way to go. I mean, this is barely 2 years into Tinubu's administration. How come he's crying and lamenting? I guess the president has left him behind. The president left Asari Dokubo behind. Mr. President has left Asari Dokubo behind. This man is a well-known double-mouthed person. He speaks with both sides of his mouth. Now look at it. At this point, we know that, these guys were following Tinubu because they were expecting something in return. But now they are not seeing what they expected and they are turning their backs on the president, calling the president names. This is just it, my country people. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? Tinubu has a lot of praise singers, a lot of praise worshippers. Only few persons are loyal to him. Only few persons are loyal to Tinubu to the core. But then the likes of Asari, can Asari be seen as a loyal supporter of Mr. President? With his recent statements on the president and his cabinet, I mean, he challenged Mr. President, challenged Nyesom Wike. What other drama are we going to see from Asari Dokubo? What other drama are we going to see? They've left him behind. They have finally left Asari Dokubo behind. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? Because at this point, we don't really know. Asari Dokubo may come tomorrow and say something else because he is quite unpredictable. Yes, Asari is an unpredictable person. Who knows, tomorrow Tinubu may call him and then give him a fat brown envelope and he goes around singing praises for Mr. President. But for now, Asari has debunked and rebuked his alliance with Mr. President. That means the Northerners should gear up because Asari will come to join alliance, to join forces with them. According to him, he complained that Tinubu has changed a lot. Tinubu has really, really changed. He's not the person he once knew. How can a normal person trust politicians? Tinubu is a politician. And politicians, they tend to behave, in a very funny way. Once they get what they want, you will see their true colors after they've finally gotten what they want. Nigerians can testify to that. Several administrations have come and gone, making huge promises that they would improve our security, we would have standby electricity and, infrastructural development. How far have they gone? Nigeria celebrates 64 years independence. What do we have to show for it? Despite the previous leaders, what do we have to show for it as a nation? So these politicians, they come and go. They say sweet words and then the gullible ones fall for it and do their biddings. At the end of the day, they kick them aside. They kick Asari Dokubo now. Tinubu have pushed him aside. So who is now crying? Is Asari. Those he were threatening. I mean, Asari, this same Asari Dokubo once threatened Nigerians, saying that those that will protest against Tinubu, he will bring his men to show them pepper. He will give them woto. Really? This is the same Asari Dokubo that brought men. Back then when people were protesting against Tinubu, he was protesting against those that were protesting against Tinubu. You can imagine. So this drama is an unending drama. I can't wait to see how this turns out, how the relationship between Asari and Mr. President will turn out in the nearest future. I'm dropping here, guys. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comments section.